Why, look at what we have here, folks!
So first of all, we're going to talk about Low Blow's wrestling parties, who are back on November 19th, this Sunday, where they'll be showing WWE Survivor Series at Buskers On The Ball. To tell us more about it now, joining us on the line from Low Blow's wrestling parties, Rick Nash. Rick, delighted to have you back here on the Kickouts.
Oh, it's a pleasure to be here, Dave. Good to hear from you.
Of course, it's awesome to hear from you too. So you guys are back this Sunday for Survivor Series, one of the biggest pay-per-views in the WWE calendar, and you're back again on Buskers On The Ball.
Yeah, it's like we have moved to Buskers from earlier this year, and one thing that we looked to do, and one thing that I kind of saw from the get-go, but I'm trying to kind of explain it to everyone, is there's so much more we can do with Buskers that we never got a chance to do, and even like in terms of different kinds of nights we can run, which we can discuss, but like there's so much more that we could do. So what we've been trying to do is, for the first few parties, you know, just kind of get people used to the venue, get people used to the change. And now we're like starting to kind of flex our muscles a little bit. And what we've put together is probably the biggest and best Survivor Series party we've done, with just the most things going on. So we have stuff like WWE 2K18. That's something we always used to have. But like this time we have it on Buskers video wall, which they do video games there as a standard anyway, if you've ever been in there like during the week and whatnot.
Okay.
So it looks really cool and it plays really cool, and people can play WWE 2K18. We have the return of our always popular Survivor Series table quiz beforehand as well, which is like a Survivor Series, of course, is all about elimination.
Yeah.
What happens is everyone comes in, they play a few rounds, and then we eliminate the people who are at the bottom, and then we keep eliminating teams until there's only one team left standing.
Works.
We're going to be doing that. Of course, as well, we also have Justin Shape, aka Justy, lined up. Former OTT star, Irish wrestling legend, trains with the likes of Finn Balor, Becky Lynch, has them on speed dial to these days. An absolute legend. Anyone who knows him from Twitter and whatnot, or from, of course, OTT and the likes. He's going to be coming by. He's going to be delivering a State of Irish Wrestling address. Long story short, I don't know how much you've talked about it on the Kick Out Live, but Justy left OTT a couple of months ago, which seemed to baffle a lot of people. They didn't understand why it happened or what happened. And as well, like, because it was so shrouded in mystery, I would talk to Justy as well. I have a lot of time for him. I get on with him. And I turn around and I'm like, well, Justy, you know, you seem like you have a lot to say. We've got a platform. We've got a microphone. Say whatever you want. We don't mind. This is your forum to kind of get your side of the story across. And anyone who knows Justy knows that even if you don't tell him that, he's going to say what he wants anyway. I know you've had him on your show before.
We've had him a few times, once or twice, yeah.
When you give him that kind of freedom, I don't know what he's going to say. I don't know what is going to be spoken about. I have no idea. I get to be a fan at one of my own parties and just sit back and enjoy the show. So it's going to be great. We'll have Justy there. We'll have a other new addition to Low Blow's Live, Corporate Keen off YouTube, aka Keno Carroll. He's going to be there. He's going to be doing an open challenge on 2K18 as well. As well, like, people can challenge Justy. If you've ever wanted to wrestle Justy, but you don't like the idea of taking bumps, well, this is your perfect opportunity.
Taking his fish hook.
Or taking a fish hook. Well, I can't guarantee that you're not going to get a fish hook anyway, because I can't control Justy. I just let him loose. Let him run free. You get to play him as well, though, in 2K18 if you win a raffle. And then, of course, the main event, the coup de grace of it all, possibly the best Survivor Series card we've got in years. And let me tell you, from running these parties for 5 years, Survivor Series is a tough sell on people because they've kind of dropped the ball with it over the past few years. This year, they put together a phenomenal card, pun intended, because it's going to be AJ Styles against Brock Lesnar, an insane Survivor Series match. It's like 2 Survivor Series matches. And then, like, you have the likes of the Usos in the bar and undercards that when you look at it, you're like, I'm interested in all of these matches. What's going on? So it's going to be a great night. It starts at 6 p.m. when we have, of course, NXT War Games. If you don't want to do the late shift on Saturday and Sunday, come to us at 6 p.m., watch NXT War Games, and then just chill out, have a few pints, watch the graphs, and then have a great night guaranteed. Don't leave the question of if you'll have a great Survivor Series party in Vince McMahon's hands, because all that lends in is you complaining on Twitter.
Yeah.
If you come to Buskers on the Ball and hang out with us, you're going to leave it saying, yeah, okay, maybe some of the things didn't happen the way I wanted to on the card, but I had a great night anyway.
Yeah.
And that's what we guarantee.
Absolutely. Yeah, so no matter what happens, like, you guys can deliver it. Like, like the idea of Vince McMahon's wrestling, his idea of pro wrestling might not be the same as everyone else's, as you say, but at least you had a good time, and that's the important thing. So awesome stuff like there.
Exactly.
But no, going back to Justy, as I said, we have had him on once or twice before. Like, I'll never forget the story he told me. I don't know if he told you this, the story he told me about how what happened was when he was in France before. Like, this we did this in our end of year last year, and what happened was he said in the same nights when Thierry Henry handles the ball, he was wrestling in France, and he somehow managed to get on TV, like basically hammering them about the whole thing, and he turned it into a promo for the rest of the tour, and ended up becoming main events from it. Like, it's just stuff like that. Like, it's I can only imagine what you'll have in store for you guys on Sunday, especially on the back of OTT.
The thing Justy says is, and he'll say it himself 100 times, he'll go, he has to figure out something to stand out. He has to figure out when he was training, like I said, with Finn Balor and Becky Lynch, two of the best wrestlers, not only in Ireland, in the world. He was in their training class. He had to figure out a way to stand out, and stand out he has over a 15-year career. And what has he done best? What did he do? What did he figure out? He figured out how to talk, how to use his mouth. So what we're doing is we're bringing Justy to Buskers on the Ball, and we're letting him talk. Unfiltered, uncut, uncensored. And we're letting him do what he does best. And I can't wait to see what he comes up with.
Absolutely, especially as you said in the back of his time in OTT, we've speculated about what happens and stuff like that. Like I was personally convinced at one stage, and I probably told him this before, that that the whole thing's a work. Like, what better way to get attention, I suppose, or one way of getting attention. But that's, like, we'll have to wait and see what he says. As well as that, you guys have got some cool drink promos. I understand you guys have a bag of cans offer of sorts in Buskers on the Ball.
Yeah, we went away, and as well, this is where, so we kind of like, with WrestleMania and with SummerSlam, we ran the parties, and we're like, let's just get people familiar, and let's let people know these are the same parties as you've seen before. You can relax and enjoy yourself here, like, because people don't tend to like change. But we're like, I think we've kind of established that now, and now we're looking at it because Buskers is a new venue, because they're looking for unique, cool things to do. There was a lot in old venues that we couldn't do because they were more established, and they have their stick for running things.
Yeah.
So with Buskers, they're like, we want ideas, we want stuff to do. So what we did was we just a blank piece of paper, and we're like, what's the perfect pay-per-view night? What makes it perfect for you when you're sitting down, you're watching a pay-per-view? What are the things you need? One of the suggestions that came up, a bag of cans. And
Think about that.
So we went to Buskers, and we're like, we have a weird one. Could you maybe like have cans there and like have a big bag of them and like stuff like that? And they're like, yeah, we already do that. There's craft beer, and it's really nice beer as well, so you can get a bag of cans on the night. They're like, they usually do it on Thursday nights. They're like, yeah, we'll do it for your pay-per-views. If people like it, we'll do it. We also have, I was like, because Buskers do a snack menu as well, which, like, they're right in what they say, and that most people want this stuff like chicken wings and chips and stuff like that. But I'm also like, for me, I want pizza. I always get, like, if I'm watching pay-per-view at home, I always get a Domino's in, you know?
Yeah.
So Buskers are like, yeah, we can sell pizza. That's no problem. So we'll be selling pizza on the night as well as the normal snack menu. In addition to all of that, because Justy's making his Low Blows party debut as a member of Low Blows, what we've decided to do is, and this is an exclusive for you.
Okay.
In January, we're going to be bringing back, in Woolshed, we had a WWE cocktail menu.
Okay.
We're going to be redoing that whole thing. And we're going to be doing not just the WWE cocktail menu, we're going to be doing a wrestling cocktail menu.
Nice.
And we're going to be doing special tailored cocktails based around wrestlers in the pro wrestling world. So this is the first of those cocktails on Sunday. And we had, like, this was a big thing on Twitter. Like, Justy got people to send them in ideas. And then we had, like, different flavors and stuff like that. We've been working behind the scenes on this.
All right.
But we've come up with, we had the audience vote on what cocktail name they wanted. They picked the fish hook, which is the obvious choice, of course.
Okay.
There was a few other ones, so not all of which I can mention on radio.
Of course.
But,
no, understandable.
Interesting names. But the fish hook was the one everyone came up with. So we put it together. It's tequila, it's pineapple juice, and it's Blue Corrado. I don't know how to pronounce that. It's Corrado, or bar people will know.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. I had a drink on Thursday, and it's gorgeous. We're going to be selling that by the jug, because people love in the old days where we used to get jugs of cocktails, and you can just have as much fish hook as you like.
Nice.
You can have a jug of Justy on the night.
There you go.
And of course, as standard, what we always say is we make sure when we sign with Buskers, we're like, we do not want our people to have to pay Temple Bar prices. They've obliged. No Temple Bar prices on the night.
Makes sense. Especially because you said yourself, it's very dear around Temple Bar, where it's very affordable for on the night. Now, as for the card itself of Survivor Series and NXT War Games, what are your expectations or thoughts going into the shows?
Here's an interesting one. Around NXT, people are giving out because WWE are changing the rules somewhat, and there's no doubt that they are. WWE is buying the rules of the War Games match. But, here's one thing that I'm predicting. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm still catching up on NXT. So just before I get my predictions in, but I'm telling you that every time we go into a takeover and we think that it's not going to live up to the bill, it always surpasses it. I think the War Games match is going to be absolutely class on Saturday, and I think we won't care that they change the rules. As for Sunday, what am I expecting? I don't know. As always, I'm getting I'm overthinking. I'm getting into hyperdrive. I saw someone suggest that the Bullet Club could reunite and cost Brock Lesnar against AJ Styles, and that could set up the rumoured match between Balor and Lesnar at the Rumble. Nice. I would absolutely love that. I don't know. I don't want to get myself too excited because Brock Lesnar is the heavy favourite for that match.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of cool stuff. The Survivor Series, I do not have a clue. I would like to think that Balor is going to be the sole survivor, just because, again, you're looking at that Lesnar-Balor match that they apparently really want to do. So that'd be probably my one prediction, but I don't even have a clue. They're changing the match by the day now anyway, adding in and taking away new people and stuff like that. So yeah. I didn't even know. I haven't got a chance, but I know it's going to be an awesome card. Survivor Series matches never fail to live up to the bill. WWE, I think in the past few years, they've kind of lost their way a bit with the Royal Rumble match, but they've really found their niche in Survivor Series. So I think they're going to put on an absolute clinic. Last year's match was one of the best matches of the year, 45 minutes of absolute bedlam.
So many spots as well.
When you look at the wrestlers that are in this, the main event level talent, pretty much all of them, except for Bobby Roode, who's just awkwardly in there waiting to be replaced. But if you look at it, it's 10 superstars, 10 megastars, 10 people who never get pinned in general on shows. All of them are lined up, so I've no idea what they're planning, but I'm all in for it.
Especially unpredictable, considering how much of change in the card, and for the better, to their credit as well. From the likes of AJ against Brock instead of Jinder Mahal and the likes as well. It's awkward for us in the show, especially because I'm not sure if you heard, we have a prediction league here on TKO, and I'm severely behind at the moment. And this is the last two shows now where we have to make. So I literally need a miracle, and apparently the forfeit is taking a chop off for 10 chops off a wrestler. So I'm done for. I think the way this is going. So
yeah, well, just moisturize your chest that morning and just grin and bear it. It'll be over.
Yeah,
it's like a set in the gym. Just get through it and you're done.
Yeah. Now, before I let you go, obviously I have to bring up, you guys are also doing a party next year on January 4th. For the first time, you're going to be doing Wrestle Kingdom 12. The first time you guys are doing a Lobos party for a New Japan show. Yes.
Well, a few years ago, we used to call ourselves WWE Parties Ireland, and we had a bit of a run-in with WWE because they're people think that
I heard the story,
a WWE thing, and it's no, they don't. It's WWE Parties. People understand that. Anyway, I was do you know what? We want to run parties for the rest of promotions. I don't want to be tied into WWE forever because WWE can be a bit lame at times. And there's a lot of other cool stuff. There's been an explosion on the independent scene, on the Japanese scene of interest as of late, especially because our parties are over 18, especially with adult audiences. So now that we're in Buskers, we can try new things that we couldn't do beforehand. This is one of them, and this is the first one. It's going to be fantastic. We're going to have, because we sat back and again we're thinking, right, what do people need to watch Wrestle Kingdom if we were going to do something around it? And I'm like, well, first it starts at 6 a.m. and most people need to get the day off work. So it's like, and a lot of people don't know New Japan well enough to be able to commit to that. So I'm like, okay, let's move the time. We'll show it on the same day, but let's show it at 5 p.m. when people are getting off work. And even then, the way New Japan cards are structured, like with the best matches coming out last, it's like even if you can't get there till 6 or 7, you won't miss anything. You'll still see the matches that will get everyone talking. If you've never watched New Japan, but you're interested in it, you can watch it around other Japanese fans. You can basically fill it in on the storylines as you go, and you can kind of get a better understanding for it. You can see the atmosphere. You know who the baby faces are, who the heels are. You know who to cheer, who to boo, etc. As well, it's English commentary. That's a big thing as well. So, like, you'll have Kevin Kelly and Don Callis, maybe Rocky Romero on the night, being able to translate it right there for you, so you're able to understand what's going on. So it's basically just, and another thing as well, a big problem with a lot of people for watching New Japan is, even if you want to watch it by like, you have to look into it. Last year, I got caught up with a stream, and like, it ended up being a nightmare. I missed all of the co-main events between Nato and Tanahashi because I had problems with my New Japan World. I missed all of it. So you don't have to navigate dodgy streams. You don't have to go on to, if you have New Japan World, it's basically a Japanese website, but you can get it through Google Translate. Like, you can kind of understand what's going on. You don't have to worry about any of that. Just come down to Buskers at 5 p.m. on the 4th of January. We'll look after that stuff. And then just sit back, get a few points in, and enjoy the night.
Sounds awesome.
The only thing I'm raging about is that it's the first party I'm going to miss personally, because I'm actually planning a trip. I'm going to New Japan. I have a ticket booked.
Awesome.
I'm going to be in the Tokyo Dome to see it. That's going to be awesome, and I am delighted with that. Don't get me wrong. But I'm also raging I'm going to miss this party, because this party is going to be class. So it's a bit bittersweet for me. But I think I'll get over it ultimately.
You'll be fine. Lad, come here. You'd be like thinking to yourself, listen, I can't go to this party because I'm actually seeing the match live. I mean, it's a pretty good rate for it. So
again, I will get over it, like, but also, like, I would love to be there, especially it's a third night, a completely different night. It's on a Thursday as well. We've never run a pay-per-view party on a Thursday at normal times. People don't need to get off work or anything like that, which is a problem for us sometimes. So it's going to be great. I can't wait. And it's for me, if you're a newbie to New Japan, or even if you're a regular, it's the most convenient way. You don't have to make any compromises in your life. You just get to enjoy it. And as well, what we've done is, we normally charge in ticket prices, because as well, we have to be a business. We're not funded by Buskers. So we've lowered our ticket prices to the lowest they've been since, I think, our first party in Captain America 6 years ago. They're only like €5 with booking fee on top, so they're the lowest they've ever been.
Nice.
As well, because it's just, we're showing the party, so we're going to charge people as low rates as possible. I'm going to see what I can do about getting Buskers to lower the drink prices as well. We want to make this accessible for anyone who wants to see New Japan. So there you go. You can get tickets on eventbrite.ie.
Awesome stuff. So that's great. So much to look forward to. I personally can't wait for that show. In the meantime, Survivor Series is going to be taking place, Buskers on the Ball, as you say, on 19th of November, and then of course the Wrestle Kingdom show on January 4th of next year. Tickets for both events on eventbrite.ie. Rick, it's a pleasure to have you all on. I must say, safe journeys over in Japan when you go there. It's huge. I personally wish I was in your shoes to go there, because it's such a huge opportunity to go there. But like, in the meantime, all the best and more setting up for the weekends, and we'll talk to you again soon.
I'll see you at the weekend, Dave. Thanks for having me as always.
More than welcome.